I'm sure everybody knows about the Neuralink. I mean, come on. It's nothing new, honestly. Elon's been trying to get this bloody thing working for years now. But, now that they have the first human patient, I've been thinking about it and, well, I've decided I want to put some thoughts into a video for everyone to see. Sure, they won't get cancelled for this. I think the biggest good that can be done with the Neuralink has to do with the fact that, well, you can become fully able again. No longer you'll need wheelchairs or special controllers or anything of the sort. Instead, all you'll need is a prosthetic, and then you can link them, Neuralink them. Link them together, and you'll have your arms again. You'll have your legs again. You'll be able to walk around, do anything you want. Sounds good, right? And that's why I think the Neuralink is amazing. But you've seen the title of the video. You know what I'm about to say. I actually hate the Neuralink. And that's because we can't have nice things. Feed is a book written in 2002 by M.T. Anderson, and it takes place in the US of A. But it's not the US of A that we know today, it's the US of A of tomorrow. If tomorrow was like, I don't know, like 300 years into the future, but that's besides the point. Although they never hint what time this is, what we do know is that cities are huge. People have completely colonized the moon. Hell, America's even looking to make it the 51st state. Plus, people have giant cities and flying cars. But the one thing that actually matters, everything else is just secondary. What matters the most is people have brain chips. I won't spoil the story because it's actually an amazingly depressing book, and I think you should read it for yourself if you actually care about this kind of stuff. But what matters here is everyone has brain chips, and the brain chips are much more powerful than what the current Neuralink can do. Here's just a list of things. The current Neuralink, as we know it today, it can only read basic thoughts, like, where I'm moving my arm, and, oh, do I want to blink? Oh, should I move my feet? But in Feed, the brain chips know everything, even the most complex of thoughts, like your detailed plans of terrorism in Minecraft. On top of that, it can also modify your thoughts, memories, and sensory. I best quantify this, just give you an example, but the fact that you not only are able to record memories permanently and store them for the rest of your life, but you're also able to send them to other people, and they can play those memories back and actually experience them as if you were there. As if they were in there. Like, I could be running down the stairs, I fall down, it hurts, they're gonna feel the pain, they're gonna feel my feet hitting the ground, they're gonna feel my screaming and my dry throat and my crying. It's pretty funny. Of course, modifying your thoughts isn't just used for memories and disability and playing the back and whatnot. These are corporations after all. As such, it's used for many things, including advertisements. Simply looking at a product causes an influx of information to go through your head. The specs, the looks, pictures, promo videos, even personalized ads that you can think and feel about as if you were truly there. Speaking of information, one of the things that make the feed so amazing is that it allows you to grab information immediately. Think Google, but instead of having to type it out on your computer, you could now instead have it just beam to your brain directly. And of course, this is amazing because you don't have to learn anything. Which is also the problem. You don't learn anything. All the information is beamed straight to you. You don't need to go through any extra sources like videos or books. So that means you don't actually process the information. Everyone becomes ignorant and stupid because, well, they don't have to think for themselves. Instead, they just let the feed do all the thinking and remembering for them. I mean, a good example is the fact that that 70% of Americans, aka the people who have the feed, just so happen to be illiterate. Oh boy, what a coincidence. And the reason is because, well, they see text instead of needing to process it and think about, oh yeah, this is what the text does. No. The feed does all that for them. It beams it straight to their noggins. This is even worse by the fact that everyone now has a constant streaming, flowing, and speedy connection to social media. Which means that, since all they're thinking about is all that social media wants them to think about, which is controlled by the companies, they end up becoming ignorant. And on top of that, because the social media is going through their head, bam, 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 all the time, that also means that they're being overstimulated. Wait a minute. This means that everyone's attention spans are hilariously sad. I mean, people are trying to escape boredom like it's running at them with a knife. And mind you, that's simply the book of it itself. I mean, just completely disregarding the feed book in 2002, the rain chip, etc. There's still a whole lot of things. For example, data collection. I mean, come on, we know how horny companies are for data. Just take a single look at Meta. I mean, iOS released a single update that essentially made all users accept certain permissions. iOS made a single update that essentially made all users accept certain permissions that every app requires, in order to function. So, when they saw how invasive Facebook was, everyone started declining half the permissions, thus causing Meta's stocks to fall harder than my grandmother falling off the stairs. And this simple moneymaker actually connects to a heap of corporate decisions. Have you ever heard of the Ray-Ban stories? They're these smart glasses that allow you to record whatever you're seeing and hearing with the words, "Hey Meta." It's a niche that I personally really want. In fact, I genuinely considered smart glasses. But it's Meta, no. Because see, the big moneymaker with these smart glasses is that they can simply record everything you're seeing at all times and beam it to their servers through a single line in the terms of service that says, yes, you allow us to record you constantly, no matter what you're doing. And paired with the fact that these are prescription glasses and people are wearing their prescription glasses 99% of the time, and you can see how this is one of their most powerful data collection devices. They know what you're doing all the time. It's exactly why, despite the fact I wanted the Ray-Ban stories, I didn't get them. Because it's Meta. Think about it though. What's better than that? Knowing every single little thought that's even occurring in that brain of yours. That's why I like to say the Neuralink is Mark Zuckerberg's wet dream. However, I urge you to remember that this is only if the Neuralink advances a hell of a lot more than it already is. It can read more complicated thoughts, it can output stuff into your brain, blah blah blah. But if the Neuralink stays the way it is right now, where all I can do is read the most basic thoughts like my limb movements, then I don't see any harm being possible with it, which is a pretty good thing. Instead, people mostly just regain their lost limbs. I think that's pretty nice. But that's not the only thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about Teslabot and AI, more specifically, pairing them. Because with the Teslabot, you get to replicate a lot of the human experience, which means, with enough data, you go from artificial intelligence to AS, artificial sentience. And I'm actually far more concerned about something else. See, with sentience comes the ability to have trauma. And robots won't have rights, especially the rights of consent. As such, I'm simply afraid for robots because Rule 34 is a rule of the internet, asserting that if something exists, I don't think I need to elaborate. And even if you don't care for the robots, there's still so many bad things that could happen to humans because of artificial sentience. After all, people trying to inevitably go at it with the robots means that the robots are gonna get mad, and in their blinded rage, they're going to have an extensive knowledge of technology and be able to take very complicated plans of revenge on their assailants. And seeing how real humans deal with this, they may be a hell of a lot more lethal and possibly be willing to kill others as collateral. I mean, have you heard of GLaDOS? She doesn't have any regard for human life. We don't want the Teslabots to act that way. That's just not good. Yeah, that's it. See ya. Pinky.